Welcome to episode 31 of Cougars on Cougars. Can you believe it? 31 episodes.
Johnny Linehan week.
It's Johnny Linehan week. This is Jess. I'm Mary. Happy to be here as always. So we're sticking with the Olympics theme for our quote of the week. Jess, share how this came to us.
This came to us, well, basically through Michael Phelps, who destroyed Olympics again.
GOAT.
And King James, LeBron, Instagrammed a picture of Michael Phelps against his rival, Chad Leclos, and it shows Chad watching Michael Phelps, looking at him as he's about to beat him in this race. And so the quote is, winners focus on winning and haters focus on winners.
LeBron actually started a caption contest for that, so if you have a great one to add, go comment on LeBron's Instagram picture.
Just the idea that you need to focus on winning and not on your rivals, your competitors. Focus on the end game.
Those Olympics have been great, and we joke, but that's a really good quote.
USA.
USA. The other thing we wanted to get in our intro here is some big basketball news before we kind of abandon basketball to talk mostly about football this episode. We have our schedule. So, Jess, what sticks out to you?
Full schedule was released.
Mm-hmm. We'll link to it.
Yep. As you may have seen, they got rid of travel partners in the WCC, so it feels like the schedule is a little more evened out as far as home and away, which is really nice. Mm-hmm. Non-conference schedule is sort of mediocre. I mean,
it's super mediocre.
We lost a really good game against Utah, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So that was hard to fill, but we do have games that kind of stand out against Colorado, USC. That's one that we're going to in California. We're excited about. And then a couple tournaments.
Yeah, big one in Vegas where we have the chance to play Alabama and the likes of Valparaiso and St. Louis. So obviously that will depend on what we win and what we lose. But there's a few resume builders in there. We're going to have to win a lot of games to be in the March Madness conversation. But
yeah, I think
we can do it.
I think it's really possible with this schedule. I mean, I think it's kind of nice to ease the guys into it, especially with so many young guys. Yeah. We don't play any true away games until January.
Which is a long time.
Yeah, and that's at St. Mary's, so that'll be a sort of big test. But
yeah.
But we play St. Mary's in January, and then we don't play them again or play Gonzaga at all until February.
It really is kind of the perfect schedule for easing into it. So it's a really good match for this team. It's not obviously the toughest schedule in the world, but it's kind of, it works out.
Yeah.
So we'll link to that for you to see. But there's kind of our 2 cents on that. And now we're going to get into the bulk of our episode, which is a really great interview that we did with Spencer Hadley, who you will recognize, and his sister Amanda. And they have a brother on the team, Matt. So
Spencer Hadley, played at BYU in 2008, and then from 2011 to 2013, he also played in the NFL for a while.
He did.
And then Amanda Hadley McCoy is one of my neighbors, and Amanda is so awesome.
She's awesome.
I really admire her and look up to her, and she's a pretty amazing athlete in her own right. So she, I'm sure, pushed her brothers and kind of probably instilled some of that competitiveness into them. So here is that interview.
Yes.
So we have a couple of special guests here with us. We have Amanda Hadley McCoy and then Spencer Hadley here. So you probably recognize Spencer. And then you may not know Amanda, but she is Spencer's brother, or sister, I should say, and also sister of Matt Hadley, who's on the team this year. So welcome, you two.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming and joining us.
Yeah.
So we have a few questions for you, both about general football this season and then also about your brother. So we want to get to know him a little bit better. Okay, so Mary?
Yeah, our first one is going to be for Spencer, and we're going to obviously talk with Spencer about the defense a little bit. So we're switching to a 4-3 for the first time in forever. That was not a thing. Bronco, really? That wasn't his jam.
No.
So what do you think the biggest advantage of that is going to be?
For me, I'm a 3-4 guy because I played in a 3-4 for so long.
Right.
So I would say there is no advantage. No, I think they both have their advantages. A 4-3, you obviously have more beef in the game, right? You got bigger guys in the game. Some believe that you have a better ability to control the line of scrimmage with 4 big guys at the brunt of the attack, right? I prefer the 3-4 because what it allows you to do is disguise much better what it is that you're going to do.
Yeah, and Bronco was so good at that too.
Yeah, and especially in the college game where your quarterbacks are younger and not less intelligent but less developed. It's more difficult for them to recognize what you're doing. And so The 3-4, I like it because you can get really creative with it. And like you said, Bronco Mendenhall did a great job at that. But a 4-3 has its strengths, and I think it's the beef, the size in the game, and controlling the line of scrimmage. Your personnel will have a huge impact on what you're going to do. You have to have the right type of guys. Yeah. If you're going to run a 3-4, you got to have a Romney Funga playing at nose guard, and if you don't, then you're going to struggle. So.
From what you've heard and maybe seen from many practices you've been to, do you think BYU is going to have the personnel this year to actually press receivers at the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's going to be big for this defense and what they want to do. From what I've heard, to be honest with you, I don't know. I know we have right now a true freshman starting at corner. And not to say that he's not a great athlete. I've seen his highlights. He is a great athlete, but there's such a huge jump in the strength and speed from receivers in high school to receivers at the Division I collegiate level. And I think that he could struggle, especially in a press situation. I don't know that. I would love to be wrong and pleasantly surprised, but I don't know. I think that could be a struggle for us. It'll be interesting to see how well those corners do and then what our coaches do to adjust to that.
Hanneman, switching from corner to safety, what do you think about that, and what do you see the challenges being there?
So actually, challenges, I would say that would be an easier switch. I think that playing corner is one of the most difficult positions on the field.
And we saw him struggle with that a little.
A little bit, yeah. But he's an extremely athletic guy, and I think that his skill set is going to transition into the safety position quite well.
So speaking of safeties, Matt, your brother, plays safety for BYU. So we want to get to know Matt a little bit. So our first question for the two of you is, could you describe his personality in 3 words?
Yeah.
Emotional.
Yeah, we could probably.
Maybe passionate.
I think my
that makes it sound better.
Emotional / passionate. Let's do that.
Very
one.
passionate.
Okay.
Matt, that's definitely one. He's a passionate. Always has since he's been little.
Just like gets into everything he does, basically.
Yeah, and he wants to give it 100%. Sometimes I think he's a little bit of a procrastinator on the passionate side. But no, he's a really kind kid. He might on the front have this facade of being like this macho tough guy, but really underneath, both Spencer and Matt were just humble, good kids in high school. I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest sister of 8, and so like the second mom, and I was always very proud of them because they were friends with everyone, so it seemed, and they like people and they like doing nice things for people. And
yeah, Matt is a good kid. I'll tell a story to that because when he was in high school, there was a young man in our rival town. And I mean like rivals.
Okay.
It was
like Utah.
It was intense.
And BYU.
I mean, I wasn't
like
going to throw it out there.
Utah BYU.
Okay.
High school.
The small high school scene. So you've never heard of it, but there's a feud there, and we're close. It's about a half-hour drive over to Royal City, and there was a young man who is struggling with health issues, and really looked up to Matt. And they reached out to Matt, and they were doing it was like a fair. They were raising funds
money for his
awareness for his condition, and Matt actually went over to the rival town and sat in a dunk tank. For like an hour.
And let them dunk it.
And
I'm sure people love to dunk it.
The line was huge, and
oh my gosh.
I mean, that's a small thing, but that's the kind of kid Matt was, and
not everyone would do that. Absolutely not.
He genuinely wanted to be there and help,
and took an interest in the young man, and even now they're in touch every now and then.
Okay, wait. So what was our second word?
So
kind. So passionate, emotional, and kind. What's our third word?
He's very loyal.
Loyal, strong, and true.
He's loyal, strong, and true.
I like that.
He's loyal. He's loyal to his family. He's very loyal to his team. He's loyal to his coaches. There was an emotional time as a switch, but now seeing I mean, he will always be loyal to
You can count on him.
Mendenhall and Howell, and he had great relationships with them, but he has quickly moved. He knows that his loyalty is to this team, and doesn't get hung up on that kind of stuff. So,
well, now more into the X's and O's. What do you expect to see from Matt on the field this year?
Going back to our first word, a lot of passion. I mean, the kid plays with passion. You can see it's almost like the game comes out of him when he's playing.
I love that.
And it's fun to watch, and it's infectious for the guys around him, and you'll see a lot of that. You'll see him making plays, flying around like his hair's on fire, and not a whole lot of regard for his own physical well-being. I'm not sure his wife appreciates that, but you'll see a kid that's running around trying to make plays and really make a name for himself, and I think he'll work his way into he's down the depth chart right now, but I think he'll work his way into a rotation, and I think you'll see him make some plays and poise himself to have a greater impact this next season.
Is there one thing you would say he does really, really well on the field? Like, if you had to pick one thing?
He's got very quick feet. He's very fat. Like, in fact, I know that coaches have commented on that over the years, and even this year they've noticed it's not gone unnoticed. But even from high school, a lot of people don't know, but he holds several state records now at football. He was a running back in high school. He played both sides, but he holds quite a few records in Washington State. On his profile.
Jonathan Stewart, the running back for the Carolina Panthers. He's the only guy that's run for more yards than Matt.
Wow. No big deal.
No big deal, right? Yeah. Now, Matt has great feet, and one of the things that really sets him apart too is his mind. He's a very intelligent person and a very intelligent football player.
Football IQ.
And so he's really good at anticipating plays, and he'll put himself in position to make plays.
Well, Amanda, I want to ask you, what's it like for you to watch your brothers play football?
Because they're your siblings, and you love them and you're tied to them, their emotional highs and lows are kind of yours too. So wins are great, and losses are
not
horrible.
So great, right?
Extra sting.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite moment from a game from either Matt or Spencer?
Well, we were talking in the car. I remember the Idaho game with the pick. And because I was layered in 2 sleeping bags and several things, and I think it was like kind of hailing or
I'm sure.
Rain.
I think it was snow rain.
We were literally getting ready to go. We were starting to undress our layers and pack up because we're like, this is a blowout and whatever. And I'd said to my husband, but watch, this is when he's gonna get a pick. And so we stayed a few more minutes, and he did.
He heard you.
And he looked up into the stands because there was about 5 family members left because it was so cold, so he could see us and pointed up there, and that was one of my favorites. And
That's cool.
The first time the 2 of them took the field together, because that was a very unique opportunity. Matt's freshman year and his junior year, when they were going to redshirt Matt, and last minute decided to play him. And so the few times they were on the field actually together, so there's not one specific time, but not too many brothers get to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Not too many brothers get to play, period, for the same team, let alone at the same time. So that's really cool.
What has Matt told you about Ed Lamb, who's been coaching
we
the
haven't heard
safeties?
much about him. Does he like him?
He likes him a lot. Yeah.
Said that he's really impressed with him.
Yeah.
He had a very tight relationship with the previous coaching staff from the time of recruiting all the way to them playing with them, and Coach Hal especially, they had a good bond. So the transition, I'm sure, isn't easy for all the players, but he
still has good things to say about him.
In fact, the first time Sataki met Matt, he knew his name. And for Matt, I mean, when you're like a Tanner Mangum or a Taysom Hill, you kind of, in fact, he's in Tanner last night. I was like, the first time he came up, he was like, now who are you? And, joking about that. But for Matt, to know his name and know what he played and know some of the facts about him and his history of playing, Matt was right off the bat very impressed that he was here to not just come in and take over as head coach, but to know these guys and build a team on that.
I think this coaching staff they've been labeled as players coaches.
Yeah, totally.
And they're very good with their players, and they'll take time to meet with them and talk to them. And I know Matt on multiple occasions has gone into Ed Lamb and, you know, what do I need to work on specifically? And he's given him specific feedback, which is, I mean, that's worth its weight in gold to a player when a coach is willing to sit down with you and say, this is what you need to work on specifically. This is what I need to see out of you. And then you can go and you can work on those things and make those changes. And Ed Lamb does that with Matt and with other guys. And so, I mean, that's the sign of a great coach.
Yeah, that's what you want to hear.
Exactly.
Amanda.
Yeah.
You have close relationships with your brothers, and they, like you mentioned, they spend time with you. You feed them. You do their laundry. What kind of role do you play in their support system? I mean, do you give them advice after losses? Are you the shoulder to cry on, or do you watch film with them, or...
See all of the above. I can't say that my advice is like, oh, you know, you need to push
line up here more,
push them out, or, you know, I can't pretend to know football as if I played it. But I think Spencer could answer that better. I feel like my support system was just being there. So for the ups, celebrating, for the downs, you know, allowing him to commiserate in their misery for a time or two, but then also to kind of buoy. Our family is really close. There's 8 siblings, and we're all very tight. And 6 of us now all live within South Jordan to Springville.
Wow, that's awesome.
Married and are with each other on a weekly basis. And so I hope that my role has always wanted to be a supportive role.
She's very supportive, very loyal.
Yeah, we'll let you back it up.
Yeah, so I'll tell you another story. When I was in high school, my junior year, we made the state championship and we lost. A heartbreaker on the last play.
Just, ugh.
And
he lost.
That's the worst.
I had the ball on the 1 yard line.
No, he didn't lose it, but
We'll
he
leave
had
it. We'll leave it there. And she'd flown home for the game. She was in college at the time, and after she bought me a cologne. Not to like, hey, here's this instead of a state championship, but just to like bring my spirits up, I guess. I don't know. It was nice because it smelled good. It was good stuff.
I know, when you're in college,
right.
That's some money.
And then the next year we went to the state championship again and we lost again. I know.
Yikes.
My high school sports story is a tragedy. So.
Sorry to make you talk about it.
But then after the game, she comes up and I'm like, full on tears, sobbing.
Because this is your senior year?
And, and she whispers in my ear, "What cologne do you want this year?"
Comedic relief.
Yeah, and I actually laughed, you know. But she has a way of being supportive and loyal and being there and making the down times not so down,
right?
And even the high times not so high. She's
knocking you down a few pegs when you need it.
When we need it. So. She's there for us.
Awesome. Since Matt's not here, do you guys have a funny story about him that you can tell us?
Either from now or when he was little.
Well, you're thinking, so the one that I've thought of, well, there's so many, because actually Matt's a really funny kid.
Purposely or not purposely?
Both. But when he was little in primary, he's always loved the older sports people and having older siblings.
Right.
You know, he was the youngest at that time, and you know, he just wanted to be like us older ones. So in primary, they were going around asking, now who are some of your heroes? And kids were raising their hand and saying the correct answers, which were these Book of Mormon prophets and
sure, Captain Moroni,
yes,
Nephi.
Going through that, and Matt raises his hand, stands up, and he lists the starting lineup for our men's high school basketball team. And our cousin was one of them, and he's like, and he just did it in such a very like, duh, how could any of you not say that these are
you guys are saying the wrong answers. Was there one more thing you wanted to ask?
Well, yeah, so I know Matt and Tanner Mangum are good friends too. So we want to know, since Tanner's not here either, do you guys have good stories about Tanner you can share?
I did ask Tanner's permission too, because I didn't want to embarrass him without him knowing. I have to say, Tanner is a good kid.
Yeah.
For those out there that have met him, you just know, like, his smile is not fake.
No, he's like the most genuine.
He's happy. They were good friends their freshman year together and roommates kind of before and after the mission. And then Matt's married now, and Tanner is Chloe might say a roommate, a third wheel, and often at our house. But Tanner's so good with I have 3 little girls, and we call him the pseudo brother. My oldest is 4 and has the biggest crush on Tanner.
Obviously.
Which, I mean, there's probably 40-year-old women that have a
Yeah.
crush on
Yeah.
Tanner.
Understandable.
It's a wide range.
That doesn't have a crush on Tanner.
No.
Miracle
But
Mango
he's
right now.
so kind to her.
Well, that's not embarrassing. That's
No,
nice.
it's not. I told him I wouldn't do anything embarrassing.
We got a decent one for Tanner. So Tanner and
Yes.
Matt, they weren't actually, they weren't technically roommates their freshman year.
Okay.
Tanner had a dorm, and Matt was living in what are they? Is it YView?
YView,
Yeah.
the ones clear over.
They were married. Then
Yeah, YView.
Freshmen, and then they're married. It's like who knows what they are. And so Tanner, they'd hang out a lot. And like 90% of that semester, Tanner had a blanket and a pillow that was like folded up and set in the corner.
It was
And
Tanner's
he
corner.
literally slept on the floor that whole semester in their apartment just because.
Why?
I think what it really was is they were out late, doing the freshman thing.
Right.
And if he had
You
gone
wanna
back
go
to
all
his
the way
dorm, he
home.
probably would have slept through his alarm and missed workouts.
So for
he's-
accountability.
Yeah, fail-proof, right?
Okay, so we had our serious talk. Now we're going to play a game. We kind of came up with a BYU version of catchphrase. If you're not familiar with catchphrase, you're on a timer and you have to describe a word or a phrase without actually saying that word or phrase. You're not technically supposed to gesture, and I'm kind of a stickler for these rules, so if you gesture, you will be on my bad list. Okay, so the teams are going to be me and Amanda and Jess and Spencer, and we'll just do a few rounds and see how it goes.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Tell me, our producer, when are we going to start the timer?
30 seconds on the clock.
Okay.
Go.
Oh, it's the thing that's painted on Jess's wall.
A cougar?
Yes, but what
Emblem?
kind? That's on a
cougar?
boat. It's on a boat, and it's a specific kind of cougar that is our newish logo. What's the person that is on a
Cosmo?
boat?
A captain?
Captain, close.
Keep giving it to me,
It's
Mary.
the ships with the triangles on them.
Well, this is easy.
Okay, we're skipping.
What-
It's
what is it,
Sailor
though?
Kook.
A sailor coug.
That's what you call this guy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sailor hat.
Now you know.
Okay.
Informational too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start over.
Got
Okay.
it. Okay.
Oh,
Let's cut
you
that
go.
out.
Oh, I go. I thought if you skip, you do
Oh,
pick another one. until I
okay.
get it.
All right,
You already
fine.
lost.
It's the
Wow.
time.
You already lost. 1 point for the other
One
team.
point.
Shoot!
That was 30
Winner.
seconds.
That was a
The
disaster.
fact that I
Is
couldn't
that
call that a
practice
sailor- Let's just do a practice
Yeah, that's a
round.
practice round.
Okay,
we'll
one
take that
practice
out.
for the other team then.
I have a newborn,
We're good.
so
We're
I'm
good.
happy
No practice
surprised
rounds.
and-
I'm taking that point.
No, whatever.
I'm taking that point to the bank. Let's go. Round 2. Come
No,
on.
we have a handicap
I-
because she had a baby.
Did I mention that our family is extremely competitive?
Well, you don't want a practice round?
No, I want the point.
Yeah,
All right.
she's taking the points.
Let's go. We'll accept the penalty.
Okay, ready?
Take 5 yards.
Go ahead, Jess.
Oh, okay.
Okay, ready? This is a place in Orem
Oh.
with really good
This doesn't
brisket.
even count.
Oh, Bam Bam's barbecue. Let's
This is
go.
rigged.
He's like
Rigged.
best
Shout out to
friends.
Cam, true.
Yeah, he and
This is
Cam,
rigged.
like, whatever. All right,
Okay.
so this
I'm
is
here for
what we
this.
sing.
Fight song.
Yes.
Loyal, strong, and true.
But if when we wake up, we...
Rise and shout.
Yeah.
Holla. Oh, my brother.
Matt Hadley.
Dang it!
the-
Come on.
This is rigged.
yeah.
You put that one. I didn't put that one in there.
Time.
Yes!
2 points.
What are we playing to?
I don't know. Let's just keep
All right,
Not
okay.
2.
2
Okay,
points.
this is a former BYU Cougar who plays currently for the Baltimore Ravens, and he's very attractive.
Okay.
He's a tight end.
There's 2 on the right.
No, he's a tight end who's on the
Wait a minute,
Ravens.
2 on the two.
You can pass. You can skip and do another one.
I'm skipping it. It's Dennis Pitta.
Kind of,
Oh, you got
okay,
it.
because you said...
Shoot, this
you
is
said
another
tight
hard
end, it's
name.
Pitta.
This is a defensive coach. He's like one of the only coaches that stayed on from the old staff, and he is Bronson and Corbin's father. Oh, we're
Oh,
cheating
yeah.
now.
No, but Bronson Kafusi, it would be Coach Kafusi. He's the...
What's
yeah.
his first name?
Oh, do I have to say his whole... What is his first name? I don't
She's
know.
being really
Kafusi.
a stickler.
Sorry.
I'll accept it. I accept
Kafusi
it.
counts.
Steve.
It's Steve Kafusi.
Oh, you just said this
Right.
one. Oh, dang it.
Yes! Give us a point.
Okay, fine.
They need one.
That was
Pity
Cobb,
point?
anyway. This is the place where we play football.
LaVelle Edwards
Chump
Stadium.
change.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a joke. Rigged.
You put hard ones in there. Put
I
yours
did.
in.
I
So
did.
there's talk right now of us playing in this particular league.
Big 12.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
My head coach.
Bronco Mendenhall.
Let's go.
She had to think about that a little too hard.
I know. We can put on the spot. It's
I know. It's,
a blank
Oh,
one.
this is a show that Spencer has been on before, and actually that's one of
ESPN?
the hosts' names. And they, it's Spencer and Jerem, and oh, you would have got
July
it.
Sports
Yeah,
Nation.
we just got gypped by
Sorry.
the timer. All right, this is a guy on the defense who is injured right now. He has the same injury as Taysom. He's supposed to be back within a month. He's a
I'm not even sure I can get
senior. I'm going to skip it. It's Travis Tuiloma.
Okay.
Did you know that, Spencer?
Sorry, Travis.
Dang it.
Get better.
Okay, this is our mascot.
Cosmo.
Cosmo the what?
Cougar.
Okay.
this is the jump that our
Ooh.
quarterback did
is
against
a
that
hard
one
one.
Big 12 team. It's
The
the nickname
league,
for it.
Texas.
Time.
Come on, he said
It's
it.
still in your hands.
He didn't say leap of faith. No
Yeah.
point.
I know,
Our
okay,
point.
If I was gonna have to say,
I didn't even
Steve
know it had a
Busey.
name. It has a name?
Yeah, the leap
Yeah.
of faith.
Come on.
Now you know. This is so educational.
That's
Sailor
rubbish.
Coug, leap of faith.
Not sold in the stadium because there's no.
Alcohol?
Well,
True.
no. It's a type of beverage that's not alcohol, and it has. It's against the word of wisdom.
Coke? Caffeine? Mountain
Yes.
Dew? Pepsi?
I'm skipping that one.
It's caffeine-free soda.
Why'd you do caffeine free?
Oh, you said it's not sold in the...
Yeah.
No, it is. Yeah, I read it wrong.
Oh.
Okay, this is the thing that they do with the fans where they drop boxes all around the country.
Oh,
What do
the
they call
50
it?
states. The
Yeah.
Cougar
What's it called?
I don't know the official name.
No point.
Time.
We'll take that. I put hard ones in there. Sorry.
What's the actual name?
BYU 50.
50.
Hashtag BYU 50. Are you giving away
Nobody
some really
knows that.
sweet
Okay, so now
helmets?
really is. last
Wait,
four
are we
wins.
tied?
3-3.
Okay.
Shoot. Too much pressure.
That's
Okay,
my
no,
fault,
right?
too.
Okay.
This is where people with a lot of dinero can give money to the team, and then they're part of the
Cougar Club.
yeah. Maybe only a little bit of dinero, but for me, it's a lot of dinero.
Oh, plays for the Lions. My
Ziggy
homeboy
Ansah.
from Africa.
Yes.
Okay. Shoot. Okay.
Ghana.
Oh, this was the quarterback who wore number 12. He's not Tanner, older.
Oh, we're
Did
talking
he do
about Beck?
fourth? Yes. I won't make you say his first name.
Would be John.
Yes, there you
Oh
go.
my gosh. They sponsor our school. It's
Time.
Yes!
Woo! Underdogs
Comeback
coming
kid.
from
We
behind.
came from behind.
Now I know. Sailor Cougar.
That game was really fun. We won. I would just like to emphasize that again.
I was impressed. Good come from behind win.
Yes, who doesn't like the underdog? But seriously, thanks to Spencer and Amanda for coming on. That was awesome. We just have a few things in Talk of the Town because, like I said, that was going to make up the bulk of the episode. But first, we have a couple BYU and wedding type things, and it's not our typical athletes with their fiancés segment. This is fan. It's our first one,
This
Jess.
is from Mitch Harper. His tweet says, just spoke with a woman who's nearly in tears because her friend is choosing to go to the BYU-Utah game on the same night of her wedding.
Me and Jess didn't even bat an eyelash at this.
That
She's
would be me.
choosing.
I know. Does that make us really terrible friends? By the way, weddings are for summer. Don't get married
During football season. Many a reception have I been to where I've been in the back room watching college football. Anyway, our next one, this is so cool. It comes from @Shad427. He got married last weekend, and he had a Sailor Coug on his cake. Amanda, right? That's a Sailor Coug. So shout out
That's
to
pretty
him.
cool.
I mean, that brings fandom to a new level, okay? And shout out
I'm
to his
impressed.
wife for allowing that. I don't know. I wouldn't have had a problem with that. Honey, we should have put a
neither.
Sailor Coug on our cake. It wasn't really a thing when we got married yet, so.
So NFL preseason, I guess, has kind of started.
Yeah, it started.
So we've got some BYU players who are playing, including Paul Asike, who is playing with the Bears.
Yeah, and it was funny to see BYU Rugby tweet that out because that's what he played first. But
true.
then he became your star running back, and now he's with the Bears. He's fullback for the Bears, right? And then we had another really cool picture, and this is of Jordan Leslie, who was a really great receiver for us. He was with the Vikings for a while. It looks like he's with the Falcons now. This is a really cool picture from Brandon Judd of him making a 13-yard catch for the Falcons during one of their preseason games. Just to name a few, we're not going to tell you preseason highlights. Sorry. But we've got Robertson Daniel on the Packers. We've got Daniel Sorensen and Mitch Matthews with the Chiefs, Dennis Pitta with the Ravens. So it should be a fun season with BYU Cougars around the NFL.
Yep.
We'll give you more relevant updates on that as they come throughout the season.
Of course. So I feel like you should take this one because you saw it.
Tanner Mangum Modeling
series.
Co.
Yeah.
We have an update, which is our favorite. There was the BYU Snapchat story. If you don't follow on Snapchat, BYU Athletics, it's just all under case BYU Athletics. They send some really cool updates, and they were doing some behind-the-scenes stuff during photo shoots. Yeah. And here's just a money shot of Tanner. How does that stance? The stance is...
It's pretty good. It was funny watching those stories, and they're like, okay, now look at the camera. Okay, do it again. Like, move this way, or like, look mean or something.
It's so funny.
It's pretty funny to watch behind the scenes.
But yeah, we had to get our Tanner Mangum modeling in there.
Yep, we appreciate that. The other thing I want to mention is that Sunny Mahe, who's Coach Mahe's wife,
yes.
She has a new column that she'll be writing for the Daily Herald, and she'll be doing it once a week, and it's basically a glimpse into what it's like to be a BYU football player or coach's wife.
Really cool. We read the first one, and she just talks about kind of the transition that it's been for her, because she's another one who was an amazing athlete in her own right, and now is kind of, not just, but she's, the coach's wife and the mother of 8 children now, so her life has changed drastically, and it's a really cool look into what her day-to-day is like.
I'm really excited to read it every week, and
it's really kind of the perspective that we try to give you, so it's cool for us to see it.
We're all about that, so that's awesome.
So there's our quick little talk of the town. As for what's next, we have movie night at LaVell Edwards Stadium. I am so excited about this because it is my all-time favorite movie in my all-time favorite place. Like, True. What? Does it get any better than that? So that's Friday, August 19th. Gates to the field open at 8. Movie starts at 9. Jess and I are going to try to be there. If we end up going, we will tweet out where we're at, and please come say hi to us. Another really cool thing that they're doing is they're going to open up the locker room for tours during this, which is amazing.
That's pretty cool.
So go check that out. I went last year, and it's really fun.
Other things, BYU 50 continues. That's still going on. We still have states to go.
Yes.
Still some time to go
Quite
before
a few,
the first
actually.
game. So this week we've got New York today, North Carolina, Wednesday, North Dakota, Thursday, Ohio Friday, and then Oklahoma and Oregon on Saturday.
Yes, so go get those boxes, wear BYU gear. Another thing coming up for local Cougar fans this week is the Cougar Kickoff, which is just kind of another mini fan fest of sorts. They have blow-ups, they have booths from the sponsors, all of the athletes are there to sign your stuff. So that's on Wednesday. It opens at 5:30 if you're a member of the Cougar Club, and at 6 if you're a member of the public. And before that is the Cougar Sale, where you can go into the IPF and buy all of that surplus gear.
Yeah.
So I think that's at 4:30 for Cougar Club members and 5 for the public. So I don't know if I mentioned that's at Haas Field by the IPF. It does go fast. So survival of the fittest at the sale, but the Cougar Kickoff is really fun.
The other thing I want to mention is that since the Olympics are still going on, I wanted to give you an update about that. The most exciting one for me is that Taylor Sander and the USA men's volleyball team came back from being down 0-2 in pool play, and they came back and beat Brazil, who was the favorite down there, and then France, and then Mexico to make it to the quarterfinals. So they play that on Wednesday, and hopefully they'll make it to that gold medal match. That'd be pretty cool. And Taylor Sander has turned it on. He's been amazing the last couple of games.
Yeah, people are saying it has something to do with the ridiculous mustache that he's grown, and I mean, superstition man, but who doesn't love an underdog?
For the baseball team for a while, so.
Yeah. Okay, and then Jared Ward, who is a Cougar alum who ran cross country here, he is running in the marathon, and that is on Sunday the 21st, so we wish him the best of luck there.
And the other bummer is that Casey Patterson with men's beach volleyball is out of the Olympics after they lost to Spain. So bummer for him, but still cool. He got to represent Team USA and BYU and participate in the Olympics.
Yes, and that's kind of a bummer. So we'll end on a high note. We're less than 20 days away to football season, people.
20 days. That's less than 3 weeks.
Honestly, we only have two more shows without football.
This week we are brought to you by Usain Lightning Bolt, who is the fastest man in the world for the 3rd straight Olympics.
Once again. And our second sponsor is that Boise State goal line stand. You know, the one that we're talking about. Special shout out to our guest Spencer Hadley, who was a big part of that. So may you always stay loyal to the white and blue. For Jess, I'm Mary. We'll see you next week.